he can do with Reinhardt. So Minsu, he didn't do any better. Joik over to the high ground now. He's going to lay the flux down. They've lost striker, but still with 5 players. The Shocker favoured here. And a sound barrier will really make things easier. Over time, still being kept alive here. Slime tries to throw himself.
You might be wondering, what is this esports thing every new generation kids are talking about? What is it? Why is it a thing? And how did it become a thing? Well, before we dive deeper into the realm of esports, I want to say, this is going to be a fun journey. What is a sport? The dictionary defines it as an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. Some dictionaries, though, however, define that it is an activity involving physical exertion or skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. So, is esports a sport? That is what most people wonder about. Do moving mouses and typing keyboards also count as a physical exertion? The skill part is definitely there, but what about the physical exertion part? Many people still argue about this matter, and I can't really give you an exact answer. It all comes down to one word. It's an and or conundrum. Physical exertion and skill versus physical exertion or skill. Choose one definition and esports qualifies as a sport. Choose another and it's not. But don't worry, we'll get to this again later, and let's start talking about the origins of where this billion-dollar industry came from. The earliest recorded video game competition was held on October 18th, 1976 for the game Space War, in which the students at Stanford University came together to win the grand prize, which was the subscription for the band Rolling Stones. That is where this all began. Fast forward to 1980, and the Space Invaders Championship held earliest large-scale video game competition, attracting more than 10,000 participants across the United States, establishing competitive gaming as a mainstream hobby. Not to mention the several huge video game competitions that were held by Nintendo, such as the Nintendo World Championships and the Nintendo Power Fest during the 1990s. Citizens from the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, and Chile was eligible to compete. But it's not done yet. This was all done way before the internet had capabilities of connecting everyone, anywhere. During the 2000s, right after the 1997 Asian financial crisis, something began to boom in South Korea. Because of the financial crisis, many people were jobless. And being jobless, they were searching for something fun to play. This reason, alongside the quick evolution of the internet, is what made online video games so popular in South Korea. And many found this opportunity to make it into a competition for actual big prizes. This was where the term esports competition really began to grow. Fast forward again to now, and esports is a billion-dollar industry, where professional gamers from other countries come and go to other countries to compete for big prizes. Some of the major games like League of Legends, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, and Overwatch have huge prize pools like an actual sports event. Where does the prize money come from, you may ask? The simple answer is from the sponsors, advertisers, and in-game purchases. Many of the big companies such as Intel, MSI, AMD, and Microsoft sponsor events for professionals to play. You still might be a little skeptical though on how many people actually watch these kinds of events. like who would watch people play video games? In 2018, the World's Finals for the video game League of Legends had a concurrent viewership of 90 million and a total viewership of 200 million. To put that into comparison, Super Bowl in the same year had a total viewership of 100 million. This event surpassed the viewership of the 2017 League of Legends World Championship, as well as the peak viewership of numerous worldwide sporting events, including the Super Bowl. Still don't think esports is relevant? Another example, the game Fortnite holds the record number of concurrent players at 8.3 million. 8.3 million people at the same time played Fortnite. Also, $211 million was used in prize money for esports in the US alone in 2019. The esports team now has administrators, coaches, and scheduling coordinators, much like an actual sports team. These are also owned by very famous owners, including professional athletes such as Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson, and Alex Rodriguez, owning or co-owning their esports team. Do you still remember what I said earlier? So esports a sport? To be honest, that doesn't matter at this point. Esport is already a huge industry on its own and is still continuing to grow exponentially, so what's the point in debating about that? The point I'm getting to is, this is how fast and big the industry is growing. We live in a world where this is an actual thing now. So let's admit that video games can bring people together just like sports, and that this can be an actual profession.
Have you guys seen eSports and the E-League?
I don't know if that's sports, but it's great mind savvy.
But I don't know if athlete is the right word that I would go for.
You don't break a sweat, I don't consider it a sport.
Oh, no, you do.
Watching people play video games isn't like watching people play football. It's like watching people play fantasy football. It is one more step removed from human activity. You understand?
It's video games. It shouldn't be on a sports network. It's video games.
But can it truly be a spectator sport?
It already is. 71 million watched it last year. They reckon it's going to, by 2017, it'll be 145 million people watching it.
They're actually giving college scholarships for video gaming.
You're kidding.
And it's even gone to the point that now the government has acknowledged professional video gamers as athletes.
Same way you watch a football match, you can hear the crowd, everyone's cheering the team on, you make friends, these are people you talk to, you play with online. It's all about community, it's being part of something that you're incredibly passionate about.
Running for Barrett though right now, trying to establish vision control and force Ambition steals the